welcome to the channel. I'm Nika, and welcome to the grand finale of the Return to Blighty Knights. Now, this is not a gaming video. This is, in fact, a review video. I decided, after all, that I'm going to make a review video. So, here it is. I'm going to be reviewing the Return to Blighty Knights. Now, I have a few sections, of course, here to go through in the review. So, I'll be breaking down the game into 5 different sections. 1 being story, 1 being gameplay and mechanics, 3 being the robot designs, and then finally, of course, the flaws with the game. So, this is, of course, my personal opinion. If whatever I say you don't agree with, well, then that's fine. We all have our own opinions, but, yeah, the Return to Blighty Knights is a FNAF fan game that I've been playing very recently on my channel, and I love it. I am going to be showing my love to the creator of this channel, game, who has also noticed me and my channel playing this game, and has actually commented quite a few times on my channel, and that makes me more happier than I can ever think, because I've never been noticed by a game creator before. So I'm very happy to have played your game. Thank you guys so much for making the game, the Twisted Mind Games, which is the people that made the game. Thank you guys so much for making this amazing game. I've got attached to it ever since I started playing the demo back in like last year, something like that. But of course, with that said, let's start off with the story. And of course, I'm going to put up some gameplay footage for you guys, just so it's a lot more interesting than just watching me talk to you guys. So let's get on to the first section. Now on to the story of the game, which, in my opinion, I'm also going to be ranking each of these sections by a ranking of 1 to 10, and in terms of story, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. The story is very perfect. It completely links itself to the actual Five Nights at Freddy's lore taking place back in 1983, or I believe in 1985, actually, when the new Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria joint has just been made. And of course, with that said, there was already the 5 missing children that already appeared, and yeah, things begin to go downhill as you play this game. Before each night, you get a call. Well, you get to listen to a call between Henry and William. And as the nights progress, William becomes more and more rage-filled, revenge-related, more insane. He starts to get jealous of Henry because of things going so well for him and Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. So he decides to get revenge over on night 4, where he decides, or night 5, I believe, actually, when he decides to kill Charlotte, Henry's younger daughter, well, his only daughter, in which she then eventually becomes, well, the soul that takes control of the puppet. So, yeah, things get really crazy as you go on. The story, again, like I said, heavily links itself back to the 1983, 1985 backstory of Five Nights at Freddy's lore, and I really love it. It's actually, at least from what I believe and remember, it's actually very, very correct. Like, it is very, like, this game is very accurate with its story and what it's trying to represent, of course, representing the story behind Fredbear's Family Diner, and of course, opening the new Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, which is what Henry was managing as William Afton decided to keep managing this place. And as, of course, the nights go on, you can also, as you beat each night, you are given a device and are doing some investigative work to make sure if the animatronics are haunted or not. And it turns out that none of them are haunted except for the new Fredbear, as you also realize that William Afton has created new versions of the animatronics, which apparently become the new faces of Fredbear's Family Diner, as he unfortunately starts using the new spring bodysuit, eventually dying in it, as we hear in a night 6 cutscene. Well, after you hear in a cutscene after being the custom Nights 20 mode, which I have defeated, in which he talks to the souls, talking about how they thought they could kill him, trap him inside, and be free, even though they were freed, not knowing that this is exactly what William Afton wanted, to be reborn as Springtrap, dying in his own suit, and as Fred, the new Fredbear, being the only actual haunted animatronic in this place. As seen as you defeat Night 4, you get a response out of your technology as you realize that the new Fredbear is haunted right before seeing a shadowy figure, most likely Afton, catching on to either the security guard or whoever is trying to do the investigative work on seeing if these guys are haunted or not. So, with that said, he pretty much killed the children at this point. So, the 5 missing children he, of course, caused are already missing. This leads to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and Fredbear's Family Diner being closed, as we also hear that from the phone guy on I believe night 5. So, yeah, things get downhill as you play this game, and the story, like I said, is extremely accurate to actual FNAF lore. Also, of course, Fredbear only being haunted because, well, this is what leads to it being the new face of Fredbear's Family Diner, as it's haunted by Cassidy, one of the 5 missing children, as the new Fredbear also eventually becomes Golden Freddy, which we all know is haunted by Cassidy, which means that, of course, the 5 missing children incident has actually happened while you played this game. And of course, as the nights progress, like I said before, William Afton does get more and more crazy, insane, more revenge-induced, as we hear on night 5, as he is jealous of the success of Henry and Freddy Fazbear's. So, he kills 5 children, that place gets closed down, along with William Afton's Fredbear's Family Diner, and of course, kills Henry's daughter, Charlotte, which eventually becomes the puppet, as we see in the cutscene, as she must save the souls of the 5 children, guiding them, and saving them by giving them new life in the soulless suits of the original animatronics. But yeah, the story of this game is really accurate with the FNAF lore, and I don't see anything wrong with the story this game is trying to give us. And this is why I really enjoy FNAF games that really like to give us past lore with Fredbear Family Diner games, and at least from what I believe, this game is the best game in terms of Fredbear Family Diner's story, as it is extremely accurate and really keeps you enticed in the story throughout the entire game. I cannot let this game go, as I was completely addicted to this game from the demo and onto its full release. But anyways, with that said, yeah, the story gets a 10 out of 10. It's nearly, or if not actually perfect with actual FNAF lore. It ties in really perfectly, and I could see this being an actual prequel to all of the Five Nights at Freddy's games that Scott Cawthon made. Anyways, with that said, let's get on to 2. Now we get into 2, gameplay and mechanics, which I've got to also give this a 10 out of 10. The game and the gameplay and its mechanics are really fun, really cool, and definitely creepy. It keeps that nice tension. You don't know when the animatronics will pop into the doorways or not. And let's actually get into the mechanics, actually. You have 2 doors, a flashlight, a box behind you keeping the puppet in it, and of course your cameras. Now, going on to the mechanics, you have Fredbear, Spring Bonnie, the new Fredbear, and the new Spring Bonnie, and of course the puppet, which is behind you. Now, the puppet's gameplay is the most different of them, so I'll go through this one first. And for the puppet, you really just gotta look behind you every now and then and flash the puppet and make sure it stays in its gift box. And the puppet actually only really starts becoming active on night 3, I believe. So, yeah. And as the nights progress, things get harder, like most FNAF fan games and most FNAF games in general. As you play through the nights get harder, more animatronics are introduced, more gameplay mechanics are introduced. And this game actually does a really cool blend of mechanics that really flow very well together. It's definitely a lot of fun, and of course keeps the tension and scariness of what Five Nights at Freddy's tries to aim for. And of course, this is a FNAF fan game. It has to kind of keep that creepy factor. And this is one of those only FNAF fan games that actually makes me jump still every now and then. Like, it's definitely creepy, very, very tension-induced, anxiety-inducing, and yeah. So onto the Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, which have really similar mechanics, as Fredbear will come from the left side and Spring Bonnie will come from the right side. And of course, they'll get closer to your doors, and the only time you really have to actually close the doors is when they're actually at your doors. So this means you have to pay attention to them on the cameras, and if they're right near your doors, don't close them yet. You want to wait for them to disappear or poke their heads right out like that, like Spring Bonnie just did right there. That's when you know you gotta close the door. And you gotta close them fast, because if they're there for too long, they will eventually kill you. And this is what I mean by tension. You don't know when they're gonna pop out when you're using the flashlight in the doorways. Because that's one of the parts that still makes me jump now to this day. Because it's very unexpected. The sound cue that happens when they pop their heads out is very creepy. Still really makes me jump. It's just really creepy. This game really does keep the tension and anxiety-induced horror that FNAF does. It's another reason why I really loved this FNAF fan game compared to the others FNAF games I've played in the past. It's definitely one of my most personal favorites. Anyways, on to the new Fredbear, which, unlike the old Fredbear, he actually appears down the hall to your left, but he does come from the same side. But he will creep closer to your door until he's eventually right out. Now, the funny thing is here, he doesn't kill you immediately. So, if you close the door immediately thinking he's going to kill you, well, he's wasting your generator heat, which is another mechanic. Because if you keep the doors closed too long, the generator heat will start to ramp up. And if it ramps up to the max, well, you can't use your doors anymore and you'll end up dying. So the strategy for this, of course, is to keep the door open to your own leisure. Keep it open for as long as you can while keeping yourself feeling safe enough to the point until you feel like you're in genuine danger, and then close the door. I found myself getting way too tense and anxiety-induced to that point that I eventually just keep the door open for literally only 5 to 7 seconds, as I was too afraid to see how long I can keep the door open without him killing me. Anyways, on to new Spring Bonnie, which works kind of like Foxy, but not really. In the demo, he works exactly like Foxy. But in this game, in the full version, he doesn't. He'll be far away from you in the parts and service, and he'll creep his way down the hallway to your right, just like the regular Spring Bonnie, the old Spring Bonnie. And when he gets as close as possible, he'll dread his hands down, showing his eyes with his new hide and seek feature. That's when you know you need to close the door. Make sure you check on him after you close the door, and he'll eventually disappear, move from the camera, literally while you're watching the camera, and then immediately bang on your door. But this does not mean you gotta open the door immediately, as if you open your door within 2 or 3 seconds of him banging on it, he will kill you. So I recommend waiting at least 4 or 5 seconds before opening that door back up, because he can indeed kill you if you open the door right away as he's banging on the door. Unlike the Foxy from FNAF 1, where as soon as he bangs on the door, you can open the door. So with that said, yeah, I really like the, like it just happened there. But, yeah, I like the little intricate details that, they have. Like, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, the old ones, will kill you if they're there for too long. Fredbear kind of keeps his time, and then Spring Bonnie won't even show up at the doors. He'll just immediately kill you like he just killed me right there. But yes, and then of course, the puppet is just, you just flash him from time to time. It's not that hard to deal with him. It's fairly simple and all that. But, yeah, that's pretty much gameplay and mechanics. Of course, I gave it a 10 out of 10. The game mechanics are really smooth, really nice intricate details. It flows all very well together. And, yeah, honestly, it's really fun. And let's get on to number 3. Alright, number 3, Robot Designs, which, sadly, it's gonna be actually a 9 out of 10. Nearly perfect. Mainly, and the main reason for this is because, well, the designs aren't really, exactly accurate to designs of the regular Five Nights at Freddy's cast, which is the only problem with it. And the only reason it's a 9 out of 10, actually 9 out of 10 is because of this reason. Their designs aren't too accurate. Now, the old Fredbear and old Spring Bonnie seem a lot more closer to their original designs from the FNAF games. But of course, their designs aren't completely accurate. But of course, it's still a 9 out of 10 because, well, you gotta keep the game interesting. You gotta give them their own designs to make this feel like its own game. And in terms of design, other than them being inaccurate to their main FNAF story counterparts, their designs actually look better in comparison, especially in the new ones being very creepy, as the new Fredbear has no eyes, and then the new Spring Bonnie is very creepy with its hide and seek feature, and its jump scare of him it's just terrifying. It's really freaking terrifying, very unsettling. And not saying that the old ones aren't, because the old ones still have that quirk of like peeking outside a door almost immedately, and those creepy designs. Like, the designs of this game I wish were the real designs of the actual Five Nights at Freddy's story, which is why it's a 9 out of 10. And of course, the least direct design that's incorrect is the puppet. But of course, it being drastically different is what makes it so interesting. Like, I really do wish these were the original designs, but sadly for them being inaccurate to their original Five Nights at Freddy's counterparts, that's the only reason why this is a 9 out of 10. But other than that, I really do genuinely think these designs should have been used. Like, the designs of this game and the animatronics look freaking phenomenal. I absolutely love the animatronic designs in this game. They look really, really good and thought out, especially the new ones with their bringing an incredible creepy factor to them. And then the puppet, of course, being much more lengthy and squid-like is just, it just gives me Nightmare Puppet vibes. But of course, they're not completely accurate to their FNAF story counterparts, so that's the only reason why it's a 9 out of 10. But again, like I said, I just wish these were the versions they use in the regular FNAF story. Like, I prefer these designs. They're really, really cool designs. But anyways, yeah, 9 out of 10, robot designs. Now on to 4. Now for 4, the game's flaws. Now, this game does not have many flaws, which is why it actually gets a 9 out of 10. I wanted to clarify also that a 9 out of 10 doesn't mean, like, it's very bad, like, has many flaws, 9 out of 10. I mean, as in, like, it has very little flaws. So, in terms of flaws, it's a 9 out of 10 because it doesn't barely have any flaws. In fact, I've only found 2 flaws with this game. Like, everything else is perfect. The only 2 flaws are actually just well, actually, technically speaking, I can say there's 3 flaws. Mainly because, for the cameras, you really only have to check the right camera. The cameras seem really, pointless, at least in terms of all the others, as the only camera where you really need to pay attention to is the right door camera, as the only animatronic that really you need to pay attention to is the new Spring Bonnie, as you need to make sure if he's close enough for you to actually close the door. And you don't need to really check the left camera, the left doorway camera, unless you want to make sure the old Fredbear isn't coming at the same time as the new Fredbear, because that can kill you. If one of them leaves and one of them's still there, that can kill you, which is the only really reason that you'd have to check the left camera. But yeah, I would still see that as a flaw. But then we get into the actual bad flaws. Because that one's not really much of a flaw, but these other 2 flaws could be detrimental, or at least one of these other 2. Which is, of course, the whole 20 mode death thing. Which, if you guys remember from my previous videos, there's a bug in 20 mode in where you'll just die out of nowhere. And I've been informed by the actual creator of this game that that is indeed a flaw with the game if on the 20 mode. Which, an actual bug in the game, that the game will kill you for no reason on the 20 mode. Because in the first attempt, I would have actually beaten the game. It was 4 a.m. and then I died randomly for no reason, and this is the bug. Now, this is not very detrimental because this has actually only happened on the 20 mode, and I am led to believe that it only does happen in the 20 mode. Which is actually a bug that's going to be fixed soon, as what I've heard from the creator is planning to fix this bug with the 20 mode. So this will be removed from the flaws, but it's still going to be a 9 out of 10 because of the whole camera usage flaw, as you only really need to check 1 or the 2 of the cameras. And of course, the flaw that I'm about to talk about right now, which is the old freezing bug, which is, again, not as detrimental as the 20 mode one, because if you're trying to get the cutscene for being the 20 mode, that whole death for no reason thing is very detrimental. But this whole freezing thing is not really detrimental and is actually very rare because it's only happened to me in the 20 mode, but I believe it can happen anytime in the game. Now, I don't know if that's the game or my PC, but I believe it's the game mainly because of how rare it's happened. It's only happened to me once, and that's during the 20 mode, but I believe this freezing effect could actually happen anytime in the game, but it's very rare. And what it does, it really just freezes your game. in-game hours still go by, so you can still win the night, but you feel so unaccomplished by doing so. Except for me when I used it to beat the 20 mode, because the 20 mode had that whole killing you bug thing. So this whole a freeze bug kind of helped me beat it legitimately. So I wasn't really like, I felt accomplished mainly because like I pretty much already beat it. So I needed to actually fairly beat it because the game was bugged. Of course, I couldn't beat it because it was bugged, even though I technically would have if it wasn't. So I'm glad that the freeze bug actually helped me surpass this, which is why I'm accomplished for beating the 20 mode, even though I bugged the game with that freeze. But other than that, those are the only 3 flaws this game has. It's a 9 out of 10 in terms of flaws. Doesn't have many flaws, only 3 flaws. The cameras, could have used some more useful cameras, like having to search around for them, except for having to only check 2 of the cameras, which I would see as a flaw, at least in my opinion. And of course, the freeze bug, which is very rare in general. And then of course, the 20 mode bug, which can kill you even though you don't die for no reason. Like, you'll die for no reason. But again, like I said, the game creator does plan on fixing that in the future, so yeah, I may actually give the 20 mode another shot in the future in some short video. You know what I mean? Because this is actually going to be the finale video because it's a review. But anyways, yeah, on to the conclusion. Now, finally, it's time to get to the conclusion of this video, in which, in total, I'm going to give, out of 1 to 10, I'm going to give The Return to Bloody Nights a 9 out of 10 in general. Like, it's a near perfect game. Like, the story is amazing. The gameplay and mechanics flow really well together. The story is really, really accurate to the actual FNAF story and is really good. It really hooks you. It hooked me from, the day I, played the full version. Like, I was already intrigued to play it when I played the demo, like, months ago, maybe even a year ago. But then when the full game came out, as I played through the game, the story just got more and more juicier. It hooked me. I was addicted to this game the entire time, and it just starved me, knowing that I want to play the game constantly, get through the game and learn more about its story, and get through the nights and see how hard the game can get. And the reason why I felt starved for that was because I wanted to do it so badly, but because of my schedule, I couldn't just play the game in one giant runway, like one giant playthrough. Like, I had to do it in parts, play it individually in individual days, because my videos are usually made a day before they're posted. So, like, I'm gonna be making it, so by the time you guys are seeing this, I would have made this video yesterday. So, but yes, it starved me. I was so addicted to the game that it would starve me not playing the game in general, because I just wanted to get into it. I wanted to play the game in one giant playthrough, get all the, play through the story, learn more of the story, play the game in general, have fun with it. So any moment I wasn't playing the game, I was constantly thinking about it. I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen this next night? What's the story gonna lead me into? What's cutscenes or secret cutscenes and conclusions am I gonna be led into? And that's a lot of the good traits that a FNAF fan game can do. When it hooks you in like that, makes you addicted to the point where just not playing it makes you feel starved because you want to play it, even though if you have your own schedule, you can't play it until this day, or you know what I mean? So, like, I had a lot of fun. I'm very glad the Twisted Mind Games creator made this game in general. I just had an amazing blast with this game. I'm happy. And I'm very happy that you even noticed me on my channel, because I'm not noticed by anyone. My channel is actually known from my friends, at least, perspective, that I'm extremely underrated as a YouTuber. But, I believe them. I mean, I try my best. I edit my videos. I try my hardest. Making gaming videos is a lot harder than you would even think. Like, having to edit the games, make the end screens, the intro. But yeah, I'm very glad that you at least noticed me, gave me some credit, said thanks for playing your game. Also giving me a little not a teaser, but like letting me know that you're gonna fix the bug. Even like staying tuned to my channel to see me beat the game in its 20 mode, saying that I deserve to beat the 20 mode because I technically beat it on the first try. But yeah, if you ever need a game creator, like a game tester, I'd be happy to do it. I'd be happy to game test for any of your future projects. Like, and I know it's sad that we're not going to be getting a Return to Blade Knights sequel, at least from what I know, that the Return to Blade Knights, it's its own standoff game. It's not getting a sequel because I've been told by one of their viewers that when I saw their the Return to Blade Knights 2 main screen teaser, I've heard that they actually canceled this sequel. So sadly, we're not getting a sequel, at least from what I believe. But I'm willing to play any FNAF or non-FNAF related games that you have planned for the future. I'm definitely going to stay tuned. I subscribe to your channel. And if you ever need me for a game tester, I'd be happy to. I love the new experiences. But yeah, I just have to say, you, my friend, have made such an amazing FNAF fan game. I enjoyed every moment of it. I was addicted. It also gave me some anxiety and some scares. My anxiety and the tension of the game is really cool. And for some people, myself included, being scared is really fun. Which is why I miss FNAF fan games being scary, anxiety-inducing, and having all this tension. Which this game brought it all back to me. And I love that. It made me feel a sense of dread that I'm gonna die randomly at some point. I'm gonna die at some point, but I don't know when. And the tension and anxiety-induced features of that game really remind me of that. And of course, the robot designs being the best robot designs of the Fredbear Family Diner animatronics I've seen to this date. And of course, there was barely any flaws. One of those flaws even being fixed soon in the future, like you said. And yeah, this game gets a 9 out of 10. It's nearly perfect. This has been my review. This is the final finale video, the review of The Return to Blade Knights, and I'm gonna say, there was nothing much like this game, honestly. Like, this game felt unique in its own way, and I would easily believe that this was a sequel to the entire Five Nights at Freddy's storyline and taking place in 1983 or 1985. But, yeah, had a lot of fun with this game. 9 out of 10, man. Come on. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, hit notification bell so you never miss a video. Let me know what you thought of the game in the comments down below. And again, gotta give my appreciation to you, the Twisted Mind Games. Thank you so much for this game. Thank you so much for recognizing my channel and my gameplays. I had a blast. You made one of the best FNAF fan games I've ever played. It's my new personal favorite FNAF fan game to this date. So, with that said, hope you guys have a great day and or night. I'll see you guys in the next video stream and or post. This is the final finale video, the very finale of The Return to Bloody Knights. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, Gators.
Unlike that skin, a step too far, I burn too bright, a shooting star.